Hey everyone, I'm J-Town. Thanks for stopping by. And I'm broke. I knew being an adult wasn't gonna be easy. I mean, we all have it rough. But I am just barely scraping by, my guy. I live with my parents. I don't pay rent, nor do I have many bills right now. But the biggest expense that I got is just filling up my car with gas so I can go to work. Even with minimal payments here and there, I'm just barely keeping myself afloat. Some of you may have watched my previous video where I managed to get a job not too long ago. Well, here comes the hard part. I now have a job. A full-time job. A goddamn 40-hour work week. What I haven't told you guys is that for the first month of working there, I got paid peanuts, schmeckles, Chuck E. Cheese tokens, dollary dues. At least with Monopoly money, I can at least pretend to buy a house. A buddy of mine did the math, and now is practically getting paid the equivalent of a Vietnamese sweatshop worker. And the worst part is that it is all technically my fault. I mean, it was my fault, but still shouldn't have happened. Long story short, soon after getting hired, I had to fill out a DE4 form. Try saying that 4 times fast. A DE4 form. Basically a tax form that's all about estimating how much money they'll be withdrawing from my wages for taxes. I know, scary stuff. But okay, how is that bad? I mean, we all know taxes suck, so in that sense they are bad. But how is that different than any other job? But here's the thing. I filled it out wrong. They wanted an estimate, which I thought meant they wanted a monthly estimate as to how much they would be taking out. I was wrong. They wanted an estimate per pay period, which is bi-weekly. So they took out what I estimated to be a month's worth of tax pay every 2 weeks, which led them to taking out more than 2/3 of my paycheck. I was left with nothing. Do you know how much I sacrificed? The first time this happened, my paycheck was tiny, but I assumed it still checked out. Mainly because I started at the later end of the week, it was at the tail end of a pay period, so I figured the rest would roll over into the next paycheck. 2 weeks passed by. My second paycheck rolls around, and guess what? It's just as tiny. Okay, that's when I figured something has gone horribly wrong. This does not make any sense. So I get on the phone, and I call the HR person, and we review what's happened. We figured out what the fuck up was, which is what I explained already. I desperately asked them if there's any way for me to recover any of the money. And they're like, nope, sorry dude. Once the money goes to the IRS, our hands are tied. And even they were like, woo, that's rough, buddy. Yeah, you think? Anyway, to resolve the issue, I just basically had to resubmit that form, but with correct information this time. But here's another thing. I filed that new form the same day I got paid, so I had to wait a full 2 weeks just to see if it worked. They told me the very next day that it all went through, it's all changed, and it's all good. Until I see that money in my bank account, it's not all good. During those 2 weeks, I was seriously considering having to quit if it wasn't resolved, because this was just unacceptable. The day that my paycheck was supposed to roll around, the entire day I was just anxiously refreshing the tracking app that my job uses, as well as the bank app, just waiting for the money to come through. Every hour that passed and nothing changed, in my head, I was like, now, come on, now! Skylar, where is the money? Hours pass by and nothing changes. Ah! I just want to be paid for my work. Is that too much to ask? Finally, by the end of the day, it goes through. Yes! Finally, a full paycheck. Dude, the relief that was just lifted off of my shoulders. Thank God. It's over now. I can finally feed my family now. It was like finally getting the test results back and finding out that you're HIV negative. What a relief. I learned a lesson that day. It just goes to show that being an adult often means you learn what not to do first, then you learn what you actually need to do. And that I'm very lucky where I have a safety net where I can handle those kinds of mistakes and get through it. But man, it was rough. But I'm not out of the woods yet. Being an adult also involves what you choose to do with your money, and choosing what not to do is just as important. Now that I've spent adequate enough time at my job, they approached me about the benefits they offer. You know, medical, dental, vision, whatever. If I wanted it, or if I wanted to waiver it. What's the smarter option here? I'm currently still under my parents' insurance and dental, so do I even need it? And what am I potentially sacrificing by not getting it? If you were in this situation, you might come up to a decision, but when you actually have to make it right in front of yourself, Okay, this is a decision for my future. You start to get cold feet because you second guess if you're making the smart decision. You start asking yourself, do I even need this? I mean, I might not now, but what if down the line I get something like tuberculosis or ulcerative colitis or the plague? Or I don't know, maybe a mosquito bites me and it gives me malaria or something. But then again, that's a lot of money you're giving up. You really want more money taken out of your paycheck on top of the taxes you're already paying? What's left over is hardly anything you can spend on yourself. So what's your decision? Can I get back to you on this one, Chief? Don't worry, I'll figure it out. Needless to say, I thought starting a job would have let me be a bit more well off by now. At least by a little bit, it would have been nice. But as of right now, I'm just barely above broke. I hardly got any expendable income. I wish it could be better, but hey, it could also be a hell of a lot worse. So I guess that's a silver lining. This whole debacle has given me the idea of, trying to find other avenues of getting income. Like maybe getting a second part-time job, or making it a goal to get monetized on YouTube, win the lottery, sell my feet pics on OnlyFans, or I don't know, maybe I should start doing furry art commissions, or I don't know, go to a casino and bet all my life savings on black. It's just giving me a lot to think about this cruel capitalistic race we call life. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I've been J-Town. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time.